All right. So I don't have a question of the day like that, but I was thinking about this along, because uh, with kids and coming up and stuff like that. All right. How do you feel? Okay, because tomorrow it's gonna be jujitsu and stuff like that.
Right.
And I had a conversation with a parent the other day, talking about options for getting their daughter more fights. All
Okay.
right. And so this is the question. That how do you feel about kids, cutting weight?
Um, I I don't. Cutting weight's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Should they cut weight? Okay. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about getting ready for the tournament cutting weight? Or are you talking about getting ready for MMA fight cutting weight?
Well, we're just talking about a 13, 14-year-old child. All right, that they're they're well enough to know that what, I can win if I cut 5 pounds.
I don't think it's
Or
bad.
like, no, okay, so all right, so go ahead and
Yeah, I
so
mean,
that's the situation
because
it's a child.
because in a situation like that, what you're talking about is a short run period of calorie deficit. A short run period. Just talking about 5 pounds. Maybe maybe a little more cardio, and maybe right near the very end, maybe a minimization of the amount of water you have. Maybe, but nothing drastic.
Yeah.
But when you start getting drastic, and I also think it depends on the age, because I think teenage is probably a good place. It's a decent place to start. I'm not doing it for a 6-year-old.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go the other way with that. Okay. And it's primarily just out of experience, and life experience for myself, because I started cutting weight when I was around 14, when I started wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now knowing these things, okay, I started wrestling when I was 14. All right. And I've been competing ever since. I'm 30.
Right.
I'm 35 now, about to turn 36. Okay. Ask me when the first time I ever really got good nutritional advice, to know how to cut weight the right way.
Oh,
Bro,
you already in your 30s, I'm sure.
yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about my middle school coach, never told us. My high school coach never. I had two different high school coaches, because I went to 2 different high schools, like that. Cutting weight, by myself, afterwards, like that. My freaking MMA coach never told me, right? Like that. Even with Pablo's now, like, how much nutritional advice, like when I've never had a conversation with Pablo like that, and I'm not putting it on him, but I'm like, it's just never came up.
It's just not
So,
it's not a thing.
And then on top of that, freaking while I was going through school, all right, all my coaches didn't say nothing. Who's the main person that like that you would think that would give you advice, and think it would be your parents, right? All right, and they're probably freaking not eating healthy either,
and don't know, probably don't even know.
They don't even know at all. It's like
yeah.
that. So from 14 all the way to in my 30s, when I like that. Matter of fact, okay, I'll tell you my very last fight. All right, my very last fight, I believe I was probably like 26.
Okay.
All right, like that. And I remember this fight just because I made weight so easy. All right. And the reason I made weight so easy is because I remember this whole camp, I was out there meal prepping and eating whole foods, cooking my, my chicken, my steaks, eating my vegetables and stuff like that. I wasn't on a dollar menu and ramen noodles like that, like I usually would be, And it was only just because around this time, I had 2 jobs, so I had money to go out and grocery shop, like that. And so I just remember just making weight so easy, and like during my months of phasing through my camp like that, and I think I was like a pound, almost 2 pounds under, like that, and I felt great. I felt strong. I was healthy, like that, and that is when the light bulb went off on my head, like, fuck, like
I've been doing
like
it cost,
it costs some money, But man, I was fueled. You know, I put the right fuel in my body.
Right.
You know, and it took that long to freaking run. But ask me what I was doing, you know, all before then, you know, all through high school and then through my pro career and things like that. You're talking about
chewing sour gum,
chewing Skittles and filling up a whole water bottle just for you know spitting in there. You're talking about freaking hours of cardio, sauna freaking every day, 30 minutes and stuff like that at a time. You know, like that freaking not eating any carbs, you know, or you know, like and cutting my calories down and depleting myself, not drinking no water because freaking that's what I was really manipulating at the end of the day. You know, like and then just being malnourished. You know, it was just so bad. So now let's get back to the question. All right, would I let a kid do this? My recommendation every single time a parent comes to me, I was like, no, don't do it. I was like, you know, I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, let them fight wherever they are. Okay. Right. Whether they win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter. All right. Right now, that's not their priority of trying to cut weight and freaking, you know, and you know, it's just experience at this point.
Right.
All right.
And if they want to fight smaller, then they need to do the thing over the long run.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But you know what? It doesn't start with the child. Who should it start with?
The child ain't buying their own food.
Yeah, it's the parents. You know what I mean? Like that. So that's why I say, you know, to the parents, I'm like that. So if they want, now let's say they want to be serious. You know, my kid is very promising. You know, he wants to take it to the next level and things like that. All right. What I would recommend is now, this has nothing to do with Junior. Okay.
Right.
This has something to do with you. Because all right, Junior's not the one that's cooking his meals, all right, and things like that. And I'll be damned if you know you're gonna be that parent that takes him to the high school track and make him run laps to cut weight, but then you're freaking sitting
while you're sitting there eating Snickers.
You're freaking 30%, you know, body fat percentage and things like that, and you're the one freaking, you know, eating a whole box of freaking, you know, some Oops all berries, you know, like that at night, you know, like that while your kid's the ones freaking that's rationing out his like, nah, you know, it starts with you. Be the example,
right?
You know, like that. So, you know, freaking now, let's do this. The whole family's gonna be on it, not just them, because you know what happens is that let's take
it breeds a healthy lifestyle.
It really does. But let's go back to that hero villain, you know, thing.
Right.
All right. Because this is for me too, you know, like that. Because I still struggle with this a lot. All right. Because what is going to happen is that either they're going to have a good relationship with food or they're going to have a bad relationship with food.
Right.
They're going to have a good relationship with exercise or they're going to have a bad relationship with exercise.
Right. People don't respect that.
You know, like that. And because either way, no matter what you're going to do, you know, especially with someone this young, you know, in their adolescence, you know, growing up and learning and stuff like that, you know, you see every single bodybuilder, anybody that hits the gym, they have some type of body dysmorphia. All right. Like that. They, you know, because, you know, aesthetics alone is so subjective. All right.
Right.
When do you really look in the mirror and you just wake up and you look in the mirror and you're like, I love what I see.
I'm right.
You know, like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's rare. You know, it's in the back of your head. You're always like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna freaking do a couple more exercises, maybe hit some dips because I want my chest a little bit better. I need to
be a little more vascular.
But then on the outside, people are like, damn, bro, you freaking look swole. Right. Like that,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like that, you know, what you been freaking doing working out, you know, like that? Like, nah, man, freaking, I'm just, you know, being me. You know, like that, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know?
You're right.
So
you're right. It happens.
That right there, this is why I don't recommend, you know, for someone that young to cut. You know, if they're gonna be serious, okay, guess what? The whole household's gonna be serious.
Right.
You know, to make sure that, you know, they do it right and everybody's educated. You know what I mean? Not that you're just gonna freaking get him educated or her educated,
right?
But then you're the one freaking, you know, being hypocritical and not doing the same thing.
You're walking the walk, and see that's what. So like, that's funny because you're right. Like a lot of times it doesn't come up. I've had a lot of conversations with Pablo, and Pablo will say, "This is the way you cut weight." Like Pablo was, you know, he's got a sauna at the gym.
Yeah,
Pablo's like against the sauna. Like he's against the sauna. He's against cutting out. Like he's against cutting out water. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like it's not healthy. But he also, at the same time, you know, you have adults. He's like, okay, if this is what you want, if you want to do it this way, let me tell you the best way to do it this way. If you're going to do it that way,
yeah.
But the better way to do it is this. The problem is,
Yeah.
What typically happens, because you
Yeah.
coach. What typically happens is people come to you a week before and
Yeah.
say, "Coach, I'm 8 pounds over.
Yeah,
What do I do?"
What you're talking about is that these people, they're trying to fly a freaking what's the biggest commercial airline plane out there?
Was it 747?
Seven.
Whatever.
Like that.
I don't know.
They're trying to fly a big ass freaking 757 freaking airliner, all right, on a little freaking ass runway,
Right?
Like that. There's just not enough runway,
right?
You know what I mean? Your runway was freaking 3 months ago where you should have started,
right?
Not freaking.
Right.
3 weeks, when you're finally getting off your ass, and then you're waiting till the last week,
right?
And leaving yourself only 3 days. It's just not enough runway.
It's not enough runway. Not enough room.
Like that. And so, keeping with that image, you're like, that's what people do. And so then now that, everybody, they see that and they're like, oh, he cut weight. That's how I got to do it. I could just cut weight in 3 days. Like, no. All right.
No.
So going back to my story,
like
it's completely changed when that light bulb went off in my head. It's completely changed on how I get ready for anything. Certain, the sauna for me, it serves its own purpose. All right.
Right.
And I strongly recommend how to use a sauna.
Well, it's different, not to cut weight though.
Yeah. No, it is to cut weight, but it's more it's a different type, like that. It's within phasing, what I mean?
Right.
And letting your body acclimate, and with the phasing of how you're starting to cut your calories, and and the amount of water intake like that. It ain't the old freaking me where I would just jump in there full sweats, trash bag, some Abilene all mopped down on my body and stuff like that, and freaking
20 pounds in 2 days.
Yeah. No, that's not what I'm doing.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Is that, for the sauna, it's I'm using the sauna more for rehab, like that, for putting my body from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state,
right.
Like that, just to make sure to reduce my stress, freaking to recover like that. Yes, I'm still cutting weight, and I understand, I need to manipulate my water weight to make weight and things like that. But it ain't because I'm freaking trying to freaking, deplete everything. I'm not like trying that.
To lose all the weight right now.
And then I get into a point where, because I've been in points where, freaking I've been in the sauna like 20, 30 minutes, not a freaking drop of freaking, sweat it has come out, like that. And did I know at the time, the red flags of what the fuck was really happening? Bro. Fuck no. You know what I mean? Because that's just me being young and stupid. But now, me being a lot more wiser and freaking with the experience and knowing like that, of course, freaking people down the road, I'm like, don't do that shit.
Bro.
You know what I mean? You need to phase these things. To wipe
the sweat off?
Yeah, you get in a credit card or something like that, and you're just freaking
scraping the sweat out.
That's old thing. And do people still do that to this day? Yeah, just because who is in their corner really telling them that stuff?
Right.
That's exactly why I'm here, today with this podcast, to educate people like that, and hopefully they're listening and really, really doing it right,
Gotta stop doing that.
But let's get back to the question, like that, do I see a benefit, with a kid that's really trying to compete at a high level, and things like that? Like, of course, but the thing is that as a parent, as a coach, for sure, a coach, that is guiding these kids, and like that, if the kid is going to be doing, for sure, they need to have an example in their life to be doing it alongside them, so it doesn't create, those bad habits in relationships with food. It doesn't create those bad habits in relationship with exercise like that. Because I've seen, I remember this one kid in high school, dude, no homo, he was freaking sculpted like a Greek.
Smiley?
No, not Smiley. Smiley himself too was cut. But this is a different kid, all right? Like that. He'd been wrestling all his whole life. Dad fucking, would push him, freaking every single day and things like that. Dude was in amazing shape. To this day, I can't remember training with another kid that looked like this dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
This dude was freaking built, like that. And freaking, about time his senior year, he came and stuff like that. He ended up placing third at state, finishing the year before that he won state. And he was he was freaking on track and very promising to go back to back. But the thing was, I remember being in there in the practices with him and talking to him, and then the little times that we would share hotel rooms and stuff like that. And we were all being like that, bro, he was just done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was so fucking burnt out.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know where he's at today, but the thing is okay, your parent pushed you that hard, and made you cut the weight and freaking, and then, every freaking weekend you're doing another tournament and things like that. Enough is enough at a certain point, and you're just freaking, all it is now is to this kid's like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do this, and then once I freaking get out the house,
once I get
I'm
free,
never gonna do it again.
I'm free. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something that they love so much, that they fell, in love with at a very young age, and they're passionate about. Now, freaking was forced and taken away from them because you know what, the parents freaking affected it. Like that, or the coaches affected it like that. And so it's a very delicate thing where, you got to make sure that, all right, you got to do right by this kid. At the end of the day, they're still a kid.
You know what I see that affects the kids? I want to say worse than the coach, because your coach, you expect your coach to give you like a level of discipline when you make a mistake, when you're competing. What I hate is when I see the parents like dogging this kid because he made a mistake. Yeah. And it's like you're taking the life out of the sport. You're expecting it from your coach. Yeah. I never had a coach that wasn't like rude as shit to me. But I was like, okay, I love it. But even making a mistake, my dad wasn't like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It was always like, you need to do better. If you're really going to do this, you need to focus. That's one thing. But that, you've seen it. The parents that are just like, and you're just like, holy shit, man. Yeah. And those are the kids, I don't want to say they wash out, because they don't wash out. They're like, once you get at them like that, and once you take the fun out of it from them, they want something else that's fun, and they walk away and they never come back. Yeah. Because you've mentally destroyed it for them. And that's so sad. Yeah. And that happens to a lot of kids with promise, bro. Yeah.
Like I think it's crazy at a certain point because, like, how many times have you ever seen, like, on Instagram or social media and stuff like that, some parent out in the stands and stuff, like, going ape shit on the ref and things like that, because, like, there's times where I'll go out and freaking to, like, a park and stuff like that, and there's signs up, where there's reminders, and I believe I've seen this too at a jiu-jitsu tournament where, like, at the end of the day, these are part-time workers being refs, all right, and they're kids. Right. Don't forget that. These are signs that are put up around, freaking recreational events, like that. I see it all the time. Like, how many times you see it at jiu-jitsu events, and things like that, where coaches, Uncle Rico's, bro. Or freaking parents in behind the barrier, the barriers and stuff like that, or talking shit to the coach, like that, or even talking shit to the kid because their kid is freaking winning or losing, like that,
bro. That's crazy to me. Yeah, the Uncle Rico's, bro. and I call him Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. Like, they're still trying to like whatever you look.
They probably peaked in freaking 10th grade.
But Mateo grows up, bro, and becomes a wrestler or starts doing MMA. Like, this is Mateo's career, bro. Yeah. It's not mine. Yeah. So I'm gonna help him through it. I know how to help you walk this walk. You know what I'm saying? But I know that you need to love it to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And man, it hurts me so bad to see not the parents push their kids, because that's different. But when the parents, when they're like trying to live through the kid, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you feel that badly about like if you're gonna yell at your kid about how badly he's doing in this tournament, you go put a fucking kimono on and then you come compete. Yeah. Like and this happened the other day, bro. This happened the other day. It's not what I'm saying, but this happened the other day. Man, I saw this choke him, and I'm like, look, man.
I've heard parents yell out in the freaking in the freaking audience and stuff like that. Break his fucking arm.
Bro, I always want to punch those people in their fucking face, bro.
I like these are kids. That's not the adult time. It's the kids' time, and I've heard that.
You don't even want to break an adult's arm, bro. Like, I'm not trying to break your arm.
I remember watching a freaking tournament. Watching a match, and I believe it was orange belts, maybe green belts. I'm not sure. All right, typically what age is that?
Oh, that's
like 15, 16, around there.
Yeah. Sometimes a little bit younger, yeah.
One of the coaches, all right, freaking told his guy, knee bar. I said, knee bar? Bro, I like,
Serious?
yes, bro. I was
That's
like, what?
crazy.
I was like, what are you teaching at your school?
I have seen the parent though, and this was at a local tournament here where the kid broke the other kid's arm, and the dad was fucking elated, bro.
Yeah.
He was like that kid was gonna get like extra ice cream that night or whatever the fuck. And it's like, bro, that's not a thing,
Yeah.
bro. Like that's not what this is about. Like it's not about that always. That always pisses me off, bro.
You know, we're
Major
getting
way.
a little too far away from the question itself, and you know, it all ties in.
Yeah.
You know, like
Don't
that.
break his arm.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but when it comes to a kid like that, you know, especially in a sport like what we're doing, you know, like that, where they have to make weight, whether it's, you know, for boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling,
Thai,
any type of
wrestling,
martial arts, you know, where they are going to be put in a division with the weight class and, you know, and things like that for the age and belt or whatever is ranking like that. I would not recommend for that kid, you know, if it's something that they built enough confidence to finally go into a tournament and prove to themselves that they can do it, win, lose or draw, you know, that it's their journey.
Right.
All right. But now, okay, you as a parent, you know, that are influencing them like that, you know, and like, hey, you know, you're doing great. We need to cut some weight because I think you can do better like that. You best believe, all right, that I'm gonna be freaking chirping and saying this, all right, that this is their journey and you want that for them, and they're coming on board. You better be ready to go on that same journey with them, and creating the same healthy habits for yourself to prove to your child that they can do it, and you know, whether
That makes
for
it
food
easier,
and
though.
like that. Yes, I like, for me, I can't wait to do that. You know,
It makes it easier.
for Mateo. All right, I can't wait to do that for Mateo, like that. That for the reason, like, hey, like, you know, like, have you ever heard the that one soundbite on Instagram and stuff like that? Like, I don't stay in shape, you know, because I want to freaking, you know, look good. I stay in shape just so I can kick my kid's ass until he's 18. All right, like, yes, you know,
Bro.
like, I'm gonna have fun with it. I can't wait for my son to be walking around and lifting shit and stuff like that.
If you
Yeah.